Have you ever wondered what it feels like to possess a focus so absolute, so piercing that the world slows down around you? Imagine a state of mind where every detail, every subtle movement, every potential outcome is laid bare before your consciousness. This isn't just the stuff of fantasy, it is a trainable, achievable state of heightened awareness. We're going to explore this fascinating territory of the human mind, and our guide will be an unlikely one. A character born from fiction, yet whose journey offers profound insights into the nature of concentration. I am of course talking about Sasuke Uchiha from the world of Naruto. His very existence is a masterclass in the power of a focused will. Sasuke's story is one of obsession certainly, but beneath the layers of revenge and darkness lies a core of unwavering, almost superhuman concentration. His gaze, often depicted as cold and analytical, is the physical manifestation of a mind that has been honed to a razor's edge. He doesn't just see the world, he dissects it in real time. This level of focus allows him to anticipate his opponent's moves, identify weaknesses in a fraction of a second, and execute complex strategies with flawless precision. It is this quality, this intense mental clarity, that we find so compelling and, dare I say, so desirable in our own lives, where distractions constantly vie for our attention. This essay is not about becoming a ninja or seeking vengeance. Instead, it is about deconstructing the elements that create such a formidable mental state and applying them to our own goals. We will look at how natural talent, emotional catalysts, rigorous training, and the progressive acquisition of new skills all converge to build a fortress of focus. You will learn that this power is not exclusive to a fictional clan of shinobi. It is a potential that lies dormant within your own mind, waiting for the right techniques and the right mindset to awaken it, to bring it forth into your everyday reality. So, I invite you to join me on this journey. We will step into the mind of an avenger, not to embrace his darkness, but to borrow his light, the brilliant, piercing light of his focus. We will explore how you, right here and now, can begin to cultivate a similar level of mental discipline. By understanding Sasuke's path, from his innate gifts to the crucible of his experiences, you will discover a blueprint for building your own unshakable concentration. Prepare to see the world not just with your eyes, but with the full, undivided power of your mind. Every remarkable journey begins with a starting point, a foundation upon which everything else is built. For Sasuke, this foundation was his heritage as a member of the Uchiha clan. The Uchiha were renowned not just for their formidable combat abilities, but for a unique genetic trait, the Sharingan. This copy-wheel eye was a powerful ocular ability that granted them enhanced perception, the ability to see the flow of energy, and the capacity to memorize any technique they witnessed. This was Sasuke's birthright, a natural, innate potential that set him apart from his peers from the very beginning of his life. This idea of innate potential is not confined to a fictional universe. Each of us is born with our own unique set of talents and predispositions. Maybe you have a natural aptitude for music, a knack for understanding complex systems, or an intuitive grasp of human emotion. These are your personal Sharingan. Recognizing and acknowledging these inherent strengths is the crucial first step in any journey of self-improvement. It is about understanding the raw materials you have to work with. Sasuke's power was not just that he had the Sharingan, but that he was aware of its potential long before he could even wield it. However, potential on its own is merely a seed. A seed, no matter how promising, will not grow without the right conditions. Sasuke grew up in the shadow of his prodigious older brother Itachi, which created a powerful drive to unlock his own latent abilities. This external pressure, this constant comparison, forced him to look inward and grapple with his own potential. In our own lives, it is vital to identify our natural gifts and then create an environment that encourages them to flourish. Ignoring your innate talents is like an Uchiha refusing to open their eyes. It is a denial of a fundamental part of who you are. Therefore, the first part of our mental training is one of introspection. Take a moment to consider your own Uchiha legacy. What are the things that come naturally to you? Where do your passions and skills intersect? This is not about ego or arrogance. It is a simple, honest assessment of your personal toolkit. Understanding your baseline, your natural starting advantage, gives you a clear direction. Just as Sasuke knew his destiny was tied to his eyes, you can find power in understanding where your own unique potential lies, ready to be awakened and honed. Innate talent provides the potential, but it is often powerful emotion that acts as the catalyst, the forge that shapes that potential into something truly formidable. Sasuke's journey is inextricably linked to one of the most profound emotional events imaginable, the complete and utter annihilation of his entire clan at the hands of his beloved older brother. This singular traumatic event did not break him. Instead, it funneled all his grief, his love, his confusion, and his rage into a single, burning point of focus. His life was no longer aimless. It now had a terrible, crystal-clear purpose: to avenge his family by killing Itachi. This is a dark and powerful example, but it illustrates a fundamental truth about the human mind. Strong emotions, when channeled correctly, can provide an incredible source of energy and motivation. Think of an artist pouring heartbreak into a masterpiece, or an athlete using the sting of a past defeat to fuel their training for a championship. The emotional charge transforms a simple desire into an all-consuming need. For Sasuke, his trauma became the lens through which he saw the world. Every training session, every battle, every decision was filtered through his ultimate goal, creating an unwavering, obsessive focus that others found impossible to match. Of course, we are not advocating that you seek out trauma to build focus. That would be absurd and dangerous. Rather, the lesson here is about harnessing the emotional currents that already exist within your life. We all have powerful drivers: the desire to provide for our family, the passion to create something beautiful, the ambition to achieve a lifelong dream, or the quiet determination to prove something to ourselves. These emotions are your fuel. The trick is to connect them consciously to your goals, to let them infuse your efforts with a sense of profound personal meaning. This process involves emotional management, not suppression. Sasuke did not ignore his pain, he weaponized it. For us, this means acknowledging our feelings, be they frustration, excitement, love, or ambition, and linking them directly to the task at hand. When you sit down to work on a difficult project, take a moment to connect with the why. Feel the excitement of potential success, the pride of overcoming a challenge. By consciously weaving your emotional energy into your focus, you transform a mundane task into a meaningful quest, giving you the resilience to push through when things get tough. Potential and emotional drive are powerful, but without the structure of disciplined training, they remain chaotic and untamed forces. Sasuke Uchiha's focus was not merely a product of his heritage or his trauma, it was meticulously forged through thousands of hours of relentless, grueling training. We see him from a young age, practicing his shuriken jutsu until his hands are raw, pushing his body to its absolute limits, and constantly seeking out stronger teachers like Kakashi and Orochimaru. He understood implicitly that a sharp mind requires a sharp blade, and both must be honed through constant repetitive practice. This principle of deliberate practice is the bedrock of mastery in any field. It's really not enough to simply go through the motions. True training involves breaking down a skill into its smallest components and practicing each one with intense concentration, pushing just beyond your current level of comfort. Think of Sasuke learning the Chidori. He didn't just practice the entire technique at once. He had to master shape transformation, then nature transformation, and then combine them with blinding speed. Each step required its own dedicated focus, repeated ad nauseum until it became second nature, freeing his conscious mind to think about strategy. In our quest for mental focus, this translates to creating our own training regimen. If you want to improve your concentration, you must treat concentration itself as a skill to be practiced. This could mean setting aside 20 minutes each day for single tasking, where you dedicate your full attention to one activity without any interruptions. It could be practicing mindfulness meditation, where the goal is simply to observe your thoughts without judgment. The key is consistency and progressive difficulty. Just as Sasuke didn't stop once he mastered a basic fireball jutsu, you shouldn't stop once you can focus for 10 minutes. You must always be pushing the boundary. This relentless pursuit builds more than just skill, it builds mental endurance. Each time Sasuke pushed through exhaustion, each time he got back up after a devastating blow, his willpower grew stronger. Your own focus muscles work in the same way. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, every time you pull your wandering attention back to your task, you are completing a mental repetition. Over time, this builds a powerful resilience. The noise of the outside world begins to fade, and your ability to maintain a state of deep, unwavering concentration becomes a reliable, powerful tool at your command. Sasuke's journey of focus is beautifully mirrored in the literal evolution of his eyes. Each new stage of his ocular power represented a deeper level of perception, but it also demanded correspondingly greater mental and emotional fortitude to control. The journey began with the basic Sharingan, which allowed him to perceive details and mimic movements. This is akin to the initial stages of learning focus, paying close attention, breaking down problems, and learning from observation. It's a powerful tool, but it's primarily reactive, analyzing what is already there in the world. The next stage, the Mangekyo Sharingan, was awakened through profound emotional trauma of learning the truth about his brother Itachi. This new eye granted him access to devastatingly powerful techniques like Amaterasu and Susanoo. However, this power came at a great cost. It drained his life force and gradually destroyed his eyesight. This represents a deeper, more costly form of focus. It's the focus of obsession, the kind that requires immense personal sacrifice. To wield this power, Sasuke had to manage not just his tactical awareness but also his physical and emotional resources, making split-second decisions about which power to use and when. Finally, he attained the Rinnegan, the most exalted of the three great eye techniques. This eye granted him near-divine understanding of the principles of the universe, allowing him to master all 5 basic nature transformations and use reality-warping spatial abilities. This ultimate eye represents the pinnacle of awareness, a holistic, all-encompassing focus. It is no longer just about seeing the opponent in front of you. It is about perceiving the entire battlefield, understanding the underlying systems at play, and manipulating them to your will. This level of focus is not just analytical, it is intuitive and creative, seeing possibilities that others cannot even imagine. This progression holds a vital lesson for us. Our own focus can and should evolve over time. We may start by developing basic, task-oriented concentration, the Sharingan. Through dedication and channeling our emotional drivers, we can achieve more intense, project-oriented focus, the Mangekyo. But the ultimate goal is to develop holistic awareness, the Rinnegan, a state of mind where we can see the bigger picture, understand how different parts of our life and work connect, and navigate complex challenges with calm, insightful, and almost predictive clarity. Each level builds upon the last, demanding more from us but offering far greater rewards. We have journeyed through Sasuke's world, dissecting the elements of his power. Now, it is time to bring these lessons home, into your own mind, your personal dojo. The principles that forged his focus are not fictional. They're really just exaggerated reflections of real psychological tools you can use today. We can translate his path into a practical, 4-part framework for building your own legendary concentration visualization, emotional anchoring, deliberate practice, and a progressive mindset that embraces growth and new challenges. This is how you begin to train your own inner Uchiha. First is visualization, the real-world equivalent of the Sharingan's predictive ability. Before a mission, a ninja visualizes the terrain, the enemy, and multiple pathways to success. You must do the same. Before starting a complex task, close your eyes for just 2 minutes. See yourself executing it perfectly. Imagine the feeling of flow, the satisfaction of overcoming obstacles, and the final moment of completion. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for success, creating a neural pathway that your actions can then follow more easily. It's about seeing the victory in your mind's eye before the battle even begins. Next, we must practice emotional anchoring, our version of channeling trauma into fuel. Identify your core motivation, your why. Is it to build a secure future for your loved ones? Is it the burning passion for your craft? Find a simple physical gesture, like touching your thumb and forefinger together, and consciously link it to that powerful emotion. Practice bringing that feeling to its peak intensity while performing the gesture. Over time, the gesture itself will become a trigger, a mental switch you can flip to instantly flood your system with motivation and focus, just as thoughts of his clan drove Sasuke forward. Finally, we combine deliberate practice with a progressive mindset, mirroring the evolution from Sharingan to Rinnegan. Treat your attention span like a muscle that needs consistent, challenging workouts. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method, 25 minutes of intense, single-minded work followed by a 5-minute break to build your mental stamina, and always be seeking your next jutsu. Once you are comfortable with one level of focus, challenge yourself with a more complex task or a longer duration. This constant striving for growth ensures that your abilities never stagnate, but continue to evolve into ever more powerful forms. Now, let's put it all together into a simple, powerful self-hypnosis exercise. This is a technique designed to simulate the focusing effect of awakening the Sharingan, creating a state of heightened awareness and clarity. You are not trying to create a magical eye, of course. You are using the power of suggestion and metaphor to instruct your own subconscious mind to sharpen its focus. Find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed for 10 minutes. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and begin. This is your personal ceremony, your moment of awakening. First, induce a state of deep relaxation. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. With each exhale, imagine all the tension, all the distracting thoughts flowing out of your body and mind. Feel your muscles becoming loose and heavy. Now begin to count down slowly from 10 to 1. With each number, tell yourself that you are going deeper into a state of calm, focused relaxation. By the time you reach 1, you will be in a receptive state, your mind clear and open to suggestion. This is the quiet stillness before the storm, the moment before the power is unleashed. Now begin the visualization. In your mind's eye, picture a vast, dark, empty space. This is your inner world. In the center of this space, a single point of red light appears. As you focus on it, it begins to spin slowly. This is the seed of your Sharingan, the core of your focus. As it spins, it draws in all the scattered fragments of your attention, all the stray thoughts, all the worries. Watch as the space around it becomes clearer, darker, and more silent. The red light grows brighter, more intense, spinning faster and faster, coalescing into a single, unwavering point of pure concentration. Finally, you will give yourself the command. As you continue to visualize this spinning vortex of focus, repeat the following suggestions to yourself, either silently or aloud. My mind is clear and sharp, my focus is absolute. I see my goals with perfect clarity. I can direct my attention exactly where I want it to go. Every time I open my eyes, this feeling of intense, piercing focus will remain with me. Feel the power behind these words. Imagine the spinning red light merging with your consciousness. When you are ready, slowly count back up from 1 to 5. On the count of 5, open your eyes, bringing that awakened focus back with you into the room, ready to face any challenge.